Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
All right, so we are back with another show, the 51st show. I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio, on iHeartRadio. And we're back at it again. So I usually play the bonus track for the show at the beginning. But I'm going to switch it up and put it, I don't know, somewhere in there. But I'm always going to have a bonus track just so the artists that I really like get another spin on the show, and we can continue to promote. I see what they're doing, and it's a beautiful thing that they're making this, how should I say, IG their medium to get their music out amongst a lot of other ways where they can get their music out. And the music business has changed so much, and for a good thing and for a bad thing. But I do respect a lot of the hustles out there right now with all these artists. So big ups to all of them that I talk with and that I haven't spoken with. The music business is not going to change. A lot of folks, the veterans don't do it as much. They go on to movies and other things like that, other hustles. But the music business is not going anywhere. There's always going to be new blood that's going to come up that really have a passion in their hearts to do music and make it their careers. And they have. And it's just that they have to adapt to a new way to get their music out there and new ways to monetize it, and which I'll get into later. So what's going on for this week? And I think this is a little old. What do you call it? Let me just up my microphone, my headphones here, because I don't feel like I'm coming in as much as I should. But anyway, what's going on here? Star Wars. Did everybody see the Star Wars soundtrack, man? Oh, excuse me, soundtrack. I'm bugging. Has anyone seen the Star Wars trailer? What is it called now? The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not too enthused, man. I'm not too enthused. I'm really not feeling it too much because of The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. Look, every now and then you probably go to my Twitter. I kind of like little nudge Rian Johnson a little bit, just getting at him. And he sounds like an okay dude, like in real life. But to be honest, my man really tore up Star Wars. I mean, how do you throw off a whole magnificent storyline that Star Wars is, that George Lucas started in the late 70s, and then it's basically these movies are the crescendo, the Luke Skywalker arc, and now this is it. People waited so long for it, and people just failed miserably. And I know they're trying to save face, and I just get at Rian Johnson. Every now and then I hit him on his Twitter like, yeah, you should boil in a vat of green milk from those sea cows that you had in that Last Jedi. Man, it hates it. It just gets me. So am I going to see Star Wars? I think not. It's the same way where people didn't see Star Wars with Solo. People didn't see Solo, not because Solo was a bad movie. I own Solo. I own it. It's because the fans straight up rejected it, protested, and say, all right, if this is what you're giving us, nah, we're not going to see any more Star Wars movies at all. Only way we're seeing it is bootleg. And that's what the fans are doing, all right? That's why Solo was received so badly, and that's why Disney said, whoa, let's hold up. Let's not put any more movies out. And this one right now that they gave J.J. Abrams is like a Hail Mary back to the fans, and they're trying all types of ways to save this property, this new Disney property. So will I see it? I don't think so. I don't care about spoilers. I'll watch all the spoilers on YouTube and every which way. I really don't care. Because there's no way where you can run down into the end zone and catch this ball and get this touchdown on this one. This was a major mishandling and flop on all the executives at Disney. Let me let you know something. I'm getting Disney Plus. Disney Plus is the business. It's not like everything that Disney put out is trash, but how do you fumble Star Wars? Star Wars. This is something that you gotta say. You gotta treat it like the golden goose. Like, yo, all right, the fans love this. This is like, all the Star Wars cons and going to Comic-Con and people dressing up like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and all these characters from the movies to the books to the cartoons and everything like that. This thing has a life of its own world, its own city. We got to respect the property. Do they? I don't know how that happened. I really don't know. Like, get Kevin Feige on this. Kevin Feige, where are you at, Kevin? Kevin, where you at, brother? Get him on the horn. Somebody got to get Kevin Feige or get someone that respects the property like how Kevin Feige respects Marvel. Whatever. Michael Bloomberg, 2020. Michael Bloomberg is making his Democratic run for the presidential. That is out of nowhere. This dude hops... Michael Bloomberg hops through more parties than any candidate that I've known. This dude, Republican, Independent, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party. I don't know. This billionaire party. Yo, this dude is making his run. Now, some people are saying that he's doing this as a way to weaken the Democratic Party's move into 2020. By splitting the vote, by, having, hey, it is what it is, right? My thing is, I don't care who the Democratic Party elects. I don't care. What I do care is justice and equality and who's going to be the president that's going to best represent that. I don't care because I'm neither Republican nor am I Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm a registered independent. I don't mess with any of these parties, all right? None of them. My thing is, who is going to best represent the people? That's all I care about, and I don't really care about Michael Bloomberg putting his foot in this whole thing. Is it a strategy to split the Democratic vote? It possibly could be, but I'm not. I don't like anybody. Actually, I probably like one, Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang, at best, all right. But do I think he has the fire to defeat Trump? I don't think so. You need somebody like Andrew Yang with some fire, man, with some attitude that's gonna knock shit over. Anyway, it is what it is. And these chicken sandwiches, man. These chicken sandwiches, what is the deal? What is the deal? This thing is like Krispy Kremes. Everybody's going at these chicken sandwiches. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't want to know what it tastes like. I don't really give a damn. To me, it's just representative of consumerism. It was a great marketing employee that Popeyes did, and I guess the chicken sandwiches tasted good before, and I guess they taste the same now because I ain't heard nobody say they taste like shit. But it's a great marketing employee. Who is their marketing people? Who are their marketing people? And I'm not going for any of that talk about, black people and chicken or, you put that in the hood, black people just going to eat that up. Nah. There's a whole bunch of long lines that white folk be lining up for, that white folk be killing each other for, and everybody. It's an American thing, all right? They marketed something and went really well. All the planets aligned. Now people going crazy for it, and it's taking on a life of its own. So some point this is going to pass and people are going to move on, but I don't want to hear none of that. It's not even from white people, from black people. Like, damn it, we just can't get it together. Look, man, people stay online for Jordans. People stay online for music and all those type of things from a variety of different races. All right. This is something that's specific with Popeyes is in the hood. It is what it is, man. All right. And I see white folk going and buy them sandwiches as you see in them videos. So it is what it is. I don't see the hype, but go ahead, enjoy your chicken sandwich. All righty then. what can I get into in this first segment? Okay, this first segment. All right, so I'm doing this very as carefully as I can with how I feel with two brothers that I hold up to the most high. You know what I mean? I hold them up highly. I respect their art. I respect their craft. I respect what they speak about when they are on YouTube, specifically on DJ Vlad. That is Lord Jamar, and that is also Godfrey. Lord Jamar, remember him from Brand Nubians. Respect this dude. Love his music. Bought the music. That's what's up. Okay? Always respect what he has put down for hip-hop. So he's an elder in the game, and I give it up to him. Also Godfrey, I give it up to Godfrey. My man is a comedian. He does his thing. Funny as a motherfucker. That guy is funny as a motherfucker. I roll every time he's on YouTube. And he's also on Vlad TV giving his words on how he feels about certain issues that are going on in America, in particular when it comes to black issues. That being said, all right, so DJ Vlad went on, you know what I mean, Godcast, Godcast, with Lord Jamar and Godfrey. Rod Digger wasn't there for whatever reason, I can't remember. So he was on the show. I saw this video last weekend on Sunday or something like that, Saturday, and they had DJ Vlad on there. And again, they spoke about issues that DJ Vlad would bring up on his show. But it was different this time. It was different. And my personal feeling about that was, it was weird, man. The beginning was a little, the beginning was a little off rhythm. You know, it was like that uncomfortableness. I saw it in DJ Vlad's posture when the show opened up and the video was rolling. It was all in his body language. He was uneasy, like you notice that. And I take a big thing on body language. You don't have to say a lot of words, but I can definitely see how you're feeling through how you move. And that was definitely DJ Vlad. So the show opened up about them talking about, again, white folks as guests in hip hop, black folks in the NBA who will be missed between white folks in hip hop and black people in the NBA. And they went into the black woman that got poisoned by her white roommate at the college, which I heard about that story. All you got to do is Google it. Basically, watch the show and you'll see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Godcast. And as they were going into the material, I don't know. To me, it wasn't so much as the content on the show, but how it was being addressed to the audience, because they do a live taping in front of people that are seated in this hall. And I don't know. I didn't think it was something that dealt with the facts. I think it was more, to me, I received it as more of an opportunity to make someone feel less than, because of how one feels personally in this society. And it was more of a show of how bad we can make someone feel by insinuation and by double entendres or whatever. And it was very uncomfortable. For me, it was a little cringeworthy, because I'm just watching it. You know how somebody sings really bad on stage and they say, I'm a singer, and they go up on that stage and they start singing and they not that good, and you feel embarrassed for them? That's how I felt when I was watching this show. It was like, ooh, my finger was like, I wanted to just skip the whole thing because it was like 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long. And it was like, ugh, but I was like, nah, I can't. Let me see where this is going. And it was just, I don't know, man. I don't think, I didn't like how it was coming across on camera. I didn't like how it was coming across on camera. Look, a lot of I see it as what people can understand it. Hurt people. And we understand the psychology of that. Whether you felt pain or suffering in your younger years, we know how that can be manifested in your behavior as you get older, as we become adults. And that is how I interpret what unfolded on this show. And I saw hurt people hurting someone. And you say, what you talking about, bro? Well, you know what I'm talking about. Everything that's spoken about on Vlad TV, or how these brothers personally deal with issues, in particular black issues, whether it's police brutality on the video, financial access, white privilege, job security, starting a business, all plays a part in the pain when it comes to black people, and how there is that disenfranchisement or that that underrepresentation in all fields or disciplines within America. That can hurt. You know, a lot of times we can break that down and articulate our feelings of what's happening with black folk in this country, but at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we may be able to understand it and speak about it publicly, but we're humans and we suffer the same thing. We go through that same pain. And a lot of times that I've noticed is that when that takes place, we tend to give that same pain to others around us, even when they are not deserving of that. Now, you know, listen, how should I put it? Look, talking about certain subject matter is important. It shows progress. It shows that we acknowledge it, we understand it, and we're making steps to deal with dismantling those injustices. But I think certain ways and how it's displayed doesn't help. It doesn't add any progress to society or the individual or to the people. And it just turns into a funny display of how bad I can make someone feel. It turns into a circus. Listen, black people do a lot of great things. We do a lot of great things. We know, speaking to the woke folk, we understand the history. We understand African history that goes back 12,000 years and ancient Kemet. We're putting together the shards and the puzzle pieces of African history before the slave trade, the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, Timbuktu, Mansa Musa, Queen Nzinga, a lot of other the woman warriors that pushed back the colonialists in Southern Africa, Central Africa. We're putting those pieces together, and we understand our accomplishments of what we do today, and we can see that on television. We can see that even through all the struggle of what black people went through for 400 years, even in the last 60 years of how we're dealing with racism and injustice in this country. We stand tall and we walk tall and we move towards greatness. But you don't have to say it. You know what I mean? You don't look, Michael Jordan, as we all know, is a great basketball player. Okay? He doesn't go about, in his spaces saying, I'm the greatest basketball player of all time. He just is. The people recognize him. If you are a legend, you don't have to say you're a legend. You don't. People recognize it. So, the way it was brought about as far as, how what will be missed. Okay. Because they pose it in the sense that, if white people are guests in hip hop, wouldn't black people be guests in the NBA, being that they didn't create it? And they went on to say, well, if you take white people out of hip hop, people will still love it. But if you take black people out of the NBA, ain't nobody gonna watch it. And it just came off a kind of braggadocio, and that's how I interpreted it. And my thing, it doesn't have to be said. We know, you know what I'm saying? But even if it is said, it can be said in a way that is, as a matter of fact, and trying to make a point, but not in the sense of trying to brag and beat your chest and looking down on someone. And that's how I saw it. We don't have to say certain things. I think you can carry yourself in a certain way and let your actions speak for itself. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I make the Michael Jordan reference. He's a great basketball player. Everybody knows he's a man. He doesn't have to say it. But in ways to say it to belittle people, especially if they're allies. Now, I don't know everything that DJ Vlad does off camera, or if he says anything that's off color or kind of crazy, and he does get corrected when he says something that he's kind of ignorant of, the interviewees like Godfrey and like Lord Jamar, they do correct him. He's like, yeah, my bad. Yeah, you're right. Now, I don't know what he does off camera, but you can't do things to people that are your allies, that stand by you, especially if they recognize the issues that are going through this country when it comes to black folk. You and I've seen it, and it's just not white and black. I've seen it whenever it's the minority within the group. Wherever you are, you're at work or you're in some leisure time, whatever, playing a pickup game of basketball. When if it's like a lone Mexican with a group of white people, or one white person with a group of Mexicans, or one black person with a group of Spanish people, like every time I've seen it, I've been in many different circles. Every time that one person of that race is with a group of another that's in the majority, somehow it's always now they have to take jabs. You know what I mean? They have to take jabs, and it is what it is. Some of them is just healthy jabs. It's just messing around. You go back to regular life or whatever. And then others, I've seen that they're a little bit more, picking on someone and making them feel some sort of way. And I and that's how I felt. My thing is, you don't make your allies some way in some ways of making them a butt of a joke or of a point, especially in public. Especially to me, when white folks that appreciate the culture and they make it an effort not to try and bogart their way into the culture. Sometimes self-preservation, especially when you're doing it on camera, people are going to see and they're going to point you out. But there are white folk that honestly want to see themselves, okay, yeah, I'm guessing hip-hop or whatever, but I respect the culture, I respect the people, and I don't separate the two. I'm not going to praise the art form, but not also value the people that have created that art form. And I see that as what DJ Vlad has done. I just didn't appreciate that whole interview. As a viewer, I think they could have done that a lot of different ways. They could have done it in a lot of. It didn't have to be this grotesque display of devaluing someone that, to me, in every way, doesn't really deserve it. You know what I mean? But if DJ Vlad is what, I can't control what someone's actions is. If DJ Vlad doesn't mind to be treated like that, then, what am I going to say? If that's their relationship between Lord Jamar and him, what am I, who am I to say how their relationship is? That's how they get down. Vlad has said they've been friends for a long time. And that's how, going back to the days of when he was a DJ early in his career. But yeah, I personally didn't like that, so, but it is what it is. And I wasn't sure if I was going to say this on a mic, but you know what, as a viewer of the Godcast and from Vlad TV and watching all these guys on camera, and especially for what I do, I'm saying I think it'd be a disservice not to contribute my points into the internet ether and just adding on and contributing to the progress of human development. Is how I all see these things. These are all little points of progress or not. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Hey, much props to DJ Vlad, much props to Lord Jamar and to Godfrey, and they, as I said before, they're great dudes. But I thought that was a terrible display on talking about particular subjects. It could have been said a lot better without in the way that it was presented. So, all right, so we're gonna get into the show, into the first artist. We're gonna get into the first artist. And we gonna listen to Maui Max with EWOF. We played him on the show before. I thought I like that song. I was like, yo, he's got to get another spin. And right behind him is Adam Cruz with Legacy. Check these two brothers out. All right.
Y'all check it out, y'all.
Here's a bonus. You heard it before.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Serving that heat. Now turn it up. GCOM Radio.
My mind, I gotta give me more. Gotta free my mind, I gotta cut them cords. Everything works out fine. Young niggas stay on your grind. Gotta put your trust in time. Gotta take risks, cross that line. If you find you take that sign. I done claimed this shit is mine. We ain't tripping on no cosign. Organize why shit align. Yeah. Niggas want respect that they ain't earned yet. Niggas in the business that they ain't learned yet. Say you the realest rapper, but you ain't said no words yet. Don't understand the fact he accountable for the words said. Everything I spit, I live, ain't gotta doubt me. Never claimed no street shit, but ask about me. I ain't no slouch, I paid my dues, I did it proudly. From A to B, that Chevy got me with high mileage. Was broke as fuck, no pot to piss, but that's the past now. Can't trip on that, look at my C's, what I'ma pass down. I'm thinking smarter, working harder in my bag now. A real hustler, deserve the shit I have now. When I close my eyes, I gotta thank the Lord. Wouldn't shit feel right if I ain't working for it. I made up my mind, I gotta give me more. Gotta free my mind, I gotta cut them cords. Everything works out fine. Young niggas stay on your grind. Gotta put your trust in time. Gotta take risks, cross that line. If you find you take that sign. I done claimed this shit is mine. We ain't tripping on no cosign. Organize why shit align. It kinda threw me off to see what I become. Thought they was better off without me. I ain't my mama only son. Ain't see no future like I'm Russell. Feel I fell when I was young. Forgave myself, got disciplined. Don't talk, just do and get it done. I ain't hating, I'm just saying these niggas ain't real. They get the deal, first thing they say is they itching to kill. Mr. Me 2B, you fake shit get revealed. I stand out being me, no approval to feel I got a pill. Stick to your story, niggas gon' relate. It take a little longer, but you know that we fashionably late. I'm dedicated, locked in, I got the foundation straight. Got out that slump, yeah, it's a fact that this rap shit is fake. Can't wait. When I close my eyes, I gotta thank the Lord. Wouldn't shit feel right if I ain't working for it. I made up my mind, I gotta give me more. Gotta free my mind, I gotta cut them cords. Everything works out fine. Young niggas stay on your grind. Gotta put your trust in time. Gotta take risks, cross that line. If you find you take that sign. I done claimed this shit is mine. We ain't tripping on no cosign. Organize why shit align. Yeah.
You know what you're rocking to?
Rocking with the best.
Only the best. GCOM Radio.
Yo, Mars, let's get it.
You don't know about me. You're working so hard, cause I don't know when I leave. I know you won't forget me. I needed some time. Oh, you'll never be alone. Whoa, you'll never be alone. Whoa. You ever wonder what it's really all about, though? To risk it all, I live my life just like an outro. I'm never talking much unless I'm with my fam chillin'. So many friends have come and gone just like the last inning. Guess we was mad different. I still believe that I can change the world with melodies. That every word I write will turn into a legacy. If it was meant to be, I'm finally moving past fear. It ain't a secret, more like magic for the static. What a beautiful place we done had. If I could imagine when I started rapping what I'd accomplish in the past year. Against the odds, just like the underdog, we fight no matter who be on our side, cause we want it all. I never thought my voice could lead a generation. Kids sick and tired of a world without relations. God-fearing men, they really fear the congregation. They preach about a God, but see God don't share the same skin. You don't know about me. You're working so hard, cause I don't know when I leave. I know you won't forget me. I needed some time. Oh, you'll never be alone. Whoa, you'll never be alone. Whoa. You never have to let me go. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You never have to let me go. You're You're gonna miss me when I think of time as just the holding of our memories. One day there won't be a page for you to check for me. Yeah, but is this really all of life? A place to grab all the pieces we can and make it right? Oh, what a terrible way that I already see the divide. Believing everything that we can have is the only thing that we can see with our eyes. I grew so tired of reading through lines. Most important thing we have is what we leave with the people behind. And I ain't talking from a place of obligation. More than the money we hide from all the statesmen. I just stay focused on the change that's coming alive. All the love we giving away is how we rise. Legacy. You don't know about me. You're working so hard cause I don't know when I'll leave. I know you won't forget me. I needed some time. Oh, you'll never be alone. Whoa. Gonna miss me when I'm gone. You never have to let me go. You're gonna miss me when I'm take control.
This is GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. Come join, be a Lyfer. Practice dollar power and build financial independence.
Yeah, man, that was Maui Max with EWOF. Everything works out fine. And Adam Cruz with Legacy. Two dope joints. So we gonna get into, what we do for the second segment of the show. And I know you guys will like this, brother. I've been trying to find this man online and I can't seem to find him. I don't know. He disappeared. Well, when you go listen to Business of the Week, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders is what you've been waiting for.
Water right out of the air. Are humans really running short of water? Are we really going through a water crisis? I doubt it. I believe Moses West disagrees too. Early in his life, he was an Army Ranger and a pilot. After suffering from an injury, he traveled the world. While in Hawaii, he met a neighbor who had a little machine that created water. An epiphany occurred. He thought if this machine can be brought up to scale, it would be a game changer. And so he did. Mr. West created Paladin Water Technology and is founder of Water Rescue Foundation. The machine, the size of a 20-foot shipping container, creates 145 to 2,600 gallons of water per day. The power required could come from the grid, a diesel generator, or any other renewable sources. You can drink the water right out the exit spout, or it can be pumped into a storage container for later use. When Hurricane Maria slammed Puerto Rico, Mr. West mobilized in the local community and provided water to the needy. It was also planned for mobilization when Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas. The machine is tested and verified and exceeds EPA water standards for public consumption. This water machine is a necessary tool for all people who need it in times of disaster. Go to waterrescuefoundation.org for more info. Yeah, so we're going to get into the second segment, man. So, it's funny, I was reading online, and Kamala Harris, as I said at the beginning of the show, all the Democrats are making that run for the 2020. And I peeped this article about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is introducing a bill to seek to extend elementary school days to 6 p.m. Yo, I've been saying this. I brought it up in so many conversations. I never understood why kids get let out. Kids get let out at 3 p.m., 3 o'clock. School ends. But what happens to the parents? The parents get out at 5. What? And if they get out at 5, they still got to travel to get to their school, which goes to 6, 5:30, depending on how far the work location is from the school location. I never understood that as a parent. I never understood that. I'm like, why are these things not matching up? It's common sense to say if the school kids get let out, or if school gets out early, they should just extend school hours. Now, it doesn't have to be with more of the curriculum of the day or extending the curriculum of the day. It could be any extracurricular activities. anything so you give time for parents. Now you can say, look, sometimes with big families, you can send a cousin, a nephew, an aunt, an uncle, grandparents, whatever, to go pick up the kid at school. But not all parents have big families. Some parents have small families, or the family members that they do have, they're all wrapped up. They can't go and pick up kids. They can't do, and they have their own kids to pick up. So I'm like, I never understood that. So what happens is you got to put these schools in after school sessions, which costs money. Especially, oh my God, it costs money. Now, if you don't have the extra, you got to squeeze pennies out of your ass in order to pay for this after school session every day. And you have to figure out where you're going to get this money. And I never understood that. I'm like, why don't they just push it to 6? Extended gym time or something. Because, oh man. So now Kamala Harris is introducing this bill. I think it's great. They said if it's passed, the program will distribute $5 million in funding to 500 elementary schools over 5 years to provide quote-unquote enrichment activities for students beyond normal school hours. They're saying additionally, the bill will provide $3 million more in funding to distribute to local groups that provide programs to low-income students. I think that's beautiful. Sign it off. Where do I sign? Where? Sign, fine. If I was a congressperson in there, sign. Please, fine. It would be such a relief to parents. Such a freaking relief, man. They should have done this 25 years ago. 25 years ago. And my thing is, that's not the only thing that they should be working on. I think if you're going to be the richest country in the world, we have the resources to figure out a lot of things that makes people's lives more complicated. And I just ran out a list. Listen to my list. All right, just 10 things, right? Maternity leave. Why is maternity leave 6 weeks? I saw somebody, I mentioned this on the show before. Someone was going to a building for a meeting. I think it was on a weekend or something like that, and a front desk woman had her child at the front desk because she didn't have anyone there to take care of the kid, and she had to come into work. All right, she had a baby with her at the front desk. This is in New York City, man. Maternity leave it's got to be equivalent to Canada or somewhere another one of these countries, and there also should be decent paternity leave. Yo, husbands and fathers would like to be home with their newborns too, It's just not because the woman has a child for 9 months and the woman should be with the child. No. Fathers should have rights to be home with their children as well. There should be a decent paternity leave. 3, job programming to switch jobs. People hate their jobs, man. Some people hate their freaking jobs. There should be some sort of after work job program. Listen, you don't want to do that, you could get into this, and it only costs time. You could do 2 or 3 hours. It's kind of like getting it like a GED program, but this one more for job training into jobs that I never really tried, I never really done before. I could do it. I just need time, and all I need is time. It could be something that's subsidized, and they could pay a little money, the people, or I don't know. Of course, in this capitalist society, nothing's for free, but not making it so expensive where they can't do it for themselves. 4, 4-day work weeks. Anybody down for the 4-day work week? Anybody down? Certain industries, it may work to have a 4-day work week. Others may not. If you work in an office, 4-day work weeks may be thumbs up. But if you're in a trucking industry, that may not work. But I think certain jobs can get away with a 4-day work week, and they should think about it as an option. I heard some companies have done it. It should be something to be thought about. A sound healthcare, number 5, a sound healthcare system that doesn't have high premiums and even higher deductibles. We got to work this out because healthcare is already a problem. I will try to have a conversation about the healthcare system to really break it on down with someone that really has their hands dirty in this healthcare system with Obamacare and all that. because we still can't figure out this healthcare system. It is nuts. It is nuts. We still have, even after all that with Obamacare, we're still dealing with healthcare prices that are just running amok. It's crazy. And lowering healthcare costs wrapped up in that. That's number 6. Drugs that is life or death for someone if they don't get it. That should never be. No, let's go with number 6, lowering healthcare costs. It should never be a life or death choice when it comes to getting certain medicine. It should never be a life or death choice. You should be able to have access to the medicine you need in order to have a quality life. Your medicine shouldn't cost like $800 or $1,000. It's ridiculous. I mean, we're literally talking about life or death here, and it's a fuck you pay me within the medical industry, with the health industry. These healthcare costs is crazy, and people are literally dying because they can't afford their medicine. 7, debt relief, man. Debt relief is a big thing. We talk about it, but we don't know how to deal with our debt. The debt is ballooning out. It's going to topple over. All right. Just the same way where the housing market came crashing on down because of greed, is going to come crashing down when it comes to every other debt that we are holding on to, whether it's medical debt, school loan debt, any other debt that's happening. Now, there should be personal responsibility. Yes, we are told that every time as U.S. citizens to have or to take on certain personal responsibilities and balance our budgets in our home, and it is nobody else's fault but our own. I understand that. Yes, I get it. I will pull myself up by the bootstraps and make sure I don't overspend and put too much debt. However, we're still dealing with a mountain load of debt that people can't get rid of. How do we deal with this? Because by the sounds of it, when I speak to certain people, they are never paying off this debt. They will live 4 lifetimes over and never pay it off. So, a lot of people are psychologically damaged by it because they're holding on to so much debt and they can't get any more credit. People are killing themselves because of the debt that they have. We got to deal with this debt in somehow. I know it's a stretch, but we got to deal with this because it cannot sustain itself. 8, standards of living have to be normalized. It has to be normalized. In every major city, people are not being able, they can't live. They can't pay rent. They can't pay a mortgage. They have to figure out how they're going to save with food, with all these other things. It can't go on much longer. All the major cities are going through this. And I was driving through Brooklyn the other day, and I'm seeing all these towers of these luxury rentals, and the face of Brooklyn has changed. Now, I'm specifically talking about downtown Brooklyn, but it's happening everywhere in Brooklyn and all the other boroughs. And I'm like, wow, it really looks nice. But how much? What? $3,000 a month? Who the fuck is living there? Who's living there? Who the fuck is living there? I know it's not me, and it can't be me, and I don't make bad money. I don't. Hey, folks, yes, I work. That's a little secret, I work. I don't make bad money, but I definitely can't live in a place that's $3,000 a month. It's madness. It's madness. Now, the funny thing is with the real estate market is that it's the G word, gentrification, and all the people that have been living there that have been that lack opportunity, that live below the poverty line, that has been locked out of moving up the financial ladder, all of a sudden get pushed out because you have this new development that's coming in. But here is the other thing when you have greed within this economic system. The people that can afford to live in these quote unquote luxury rentals, they can't afford it. Now they have to live 6 to a room, or they have to live they have to have a 2-income household, but yet they're still pushing it to the limit so they can afford that $3,000 a month luxury rental. All right. And they have to have a car and they have the other things. Some people say, yo, we can't even have a car living in the city. They take the train. But even they can't afford it. So it's like a double whammy for those that have to move out because of gentrification, because of course they can't pay this. They don't even live within that tax bracket. But the people that move in, they can't afford it either. And I've heard people that lived in Brooklyn, in the quote-unquote gentrified areas of Brooklyn, how it was gentrified 15, 20 years ago, they got to move out of Brooklyn, and where they going? Back to Manhattan. It's like, it's crazy what's happening with the housing market, with the real estate market. It's madness. And home ownership, which we leads into, we're going into number 9, home ownership. We got to lower cost of some of these homes, man. These homes are way overpriced. Too many people are living in New York, and I speak because I'm from New York. It's overpriced, these homes, man. These homes are $1 million. The same home that I've known for 20 years. That was $400,000. Now they're now worth $2.5 million. Who is making these numbers up? We gotta have affordable housing, and not cheaply built affordable housing where I can hear every conversation someone is talking about or having below, beside, or above me. All right? You're gonna have solid sound material that is low cost so people can live, whether you're middle class or lower class. And lastly, encourage and incentivize companies to spread out in economically depressed areas. I always had this conversation with people that, why are all the businesses moving into the island of Manhattan? And I understand. I get it. Business-wise, it makes sense. It's a central location. It's where everybody basically corrals around the island of Manhattan. So you have every company, major company from A to Z, setting up shop on the island. So a lot of different logic to that. But the problem is everybody is moving to New York City, and people are living on top of each other, which is a part of how the real estate market is ballooning out of control, because the logic on the developer side, on the owner side, is like, oh my God, so many people living here. Yeah, I can raise my price to 2,200. Yeah, I can get it. And they get away with it. So there's got to be some way where you can incentivize businesses to kind of set up shop in economically depressed areas. Certain areas, upstate New York, man. I went to this place in Deposit, New York. Shout out to people in Deposit, New York. My pops wanted to live up there many, many years ago when I was in my mid-20s. It looked good online. But when we went out there, a little shabby. But people deal with what they deal with, all right? Probably lower middle class folks. They have houses, been there for 25 years, 30 years, passed down from the aunts and uncles or grandmothers or whatever the case, grandfathers, but not having the money to upkeep it. And you have whole communities that are being deserted because there is no industry in these small towns, upstate New York. And for those that can't afford to live, they just deal with it. There's got to be somewhere where you can incentivize companies to set up shop, and even if it's not major corporations, mid-sized companies upstate or out into the boroughs, which they do have in the boroughs. But how do you deal with those areas that are being deserted? How do you revitalize communities upstate New York in these small towns that need it? Because they're falling apart, they're deteriorating. It's got to be a way whether you incentivize these major corporations or you set up some sort of program which encourages to build small businesses in the area. There has to be something done, because now you're dealing with a twofold problem. The real estate market is skyrocketing because everybody is living like sardines in New York City in all the boroughs. But now you have entire areas upstate New York, and I'm just using New York as an example. There's a lot of communities across America that are going through the same problems, where people are being left to the dust. And they're just living out their lives. And all the while they're getting angry. And again, they're getting frustrated. They're trying to figure out how they're going to eat, how they're going to feed their kids. You know what I mean? There's got to be ways with the government, not just pass a bill to extend elementary school work days at 6 p.m. to help out parents, but we need to rethink everything on how we've been functioning in the last 30 years. We have to throw everything out and start over again, because this cannot benefit a small group of people. When it comes to real estate development, when it comes to housing, when it comes to business, when it comes to any of these sort of things that push society along, that makes up the different slices of society. We have to rethink everything and be inclusive so everybody can eat. And I always said the analogy. You got to help the old lady put the food on the what do you call it? Get the food out of her cart onto the conveyor belt so she can ring in. You can't complain, because your complaining ain't gonna do nothing. The line is still held up. And if the old lady's having problems of putting the food on the conveyor belt so she can ring it through so she can get out the store, hey man, come on, do your part. Help. If you help the old lady, you help yourself. And you not only help yourself, but you help the people behind you. It keeps the line moving. So help her put her food on the conveyor belt. She goes, oh, you're a nice young man. Yeah, no problem. Of course, I'm doing my duty. I'm contributing for the greater good of society. So help her, help yourself, and help the people behind you. Help the group. We have to destroy individualism. Individualism is killing this country. And that is a symptom of individualism, where you just don't care. Whatever, it's not my problem. You know what? What are you taking so long for? What are you taking so long? Oh my God, it's too much noise. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. Oh my God, oh my God. It's like children. Straight children want to complain about what other people are doing, but we don't want to take it upon ourselves to help others. All right? So I think all those points that I made, including the bill that Kamala Harris wants to do, I think it's a beautiful thing. And we can't think of it, oh, where are we going to get them? No, we have the money. We have the money, okay? From my last show when we were talking about foreign aid. We have the money. This country has the money, all right? We can figure out our problems. We can figure out the issues on those things that we have to honestly deal with. On those 10 things that let's put it on the table. Some things may work and some things may not, but we can't just keep on looking at each other, cursing each other out, seeing what's happening, watching the news, seeing what these news correspondents are telling us is happening. And oh my God, what are we going to do? You know what? Fuck that. They're not going to get my guns. Fuck you. You know what? Ah! And you end up killing people or shooting someone or your boss or running off the road or suicide. We got to work together. Anyway, all right, let's go into the next couple of songs that we got on the list here. It's Iman Jordan with Shallow, and following up right behind this brother is Lege, Kale. I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Iman, that is a brother, Jordan, Iman, that's how I pronounce it, with Shallow, and Lege, Lege. That's how I'm pronouncing it, Lege, Kale, just like the vegetable, kale with ghost. So, hey man, I'm doing my best here, folks. So we got Iman Jordan with Shallow and Lege Kale with his peoples. The song is Ghost. All right.
Fuck, I'm out the flow. Stuck between lows everywhere I go. I'm hitting waves on my own. Be careful of the crew, careful what you do, careful only you, people love and lose. Be careful, never truths getting out of view, careful never you, careful what you do. Cause sometimes I be hollow, chasing my own shadow. I can't go too deep, no, I'm swimming in the shallow. Cause sometimes I be hollow, chasing my own shadow. I can't go too deep, no, I'm swimming in the shallow. Maybe I'm immature. told the truth, would you live and learn? Practice being you or you crash and burn. Cause you don't understand where I've been at for a while now, yeah. Somewhere hiding from my heart, scared of what you say, so I play the part. Something about the life that was never true. It's hard in the shallow. Oh, something about the shallow. In the shallow. Go too deep, no, I'm swimming in the shallow.
Hey, turn it up. GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
Everything's a sea. I can't go too deep, no, I'm swimming in the shallow. For some reason. I can't go too deep, no, I'm swimming in the shallow. Swimming in the shallow. Maybe I'm immature lately. I'm insecure, closed off from something more. But hear me out now, 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 now. I can't go too deep, no, I'm swimming in the shallow.
Let's start from the beginning.
There's many, but nothing like this internet radio show.
Yeah, beat my frequency.
GCOM Radio.
Y'all know what's up.
New shit looking hectic, it's a ghost town. Balling out the lot, I feel at home now. Danny Phantom, APC my own now. New shit looking hellish, that's a ghost now. Diamonds on my wrist, that shit look snowed out. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. Lege. I just living life, your shit too awesome. Pull up and I'm feeling like I'm Austin. I just got the power like a shark. Feeling like I'm static when I roll. I'm just not Midas when I glow. Something out of nothing that's the goal. I'm just feeling like a young goat. Level up, that's OHIO. I just got the diamonds that she froze. I just got to work where I'm a roll. She hit me, I said pull up to my show. Touchdown in your city, here we go. Now we rolling out the lot, I feel at home now. Danny Phantom, APC my own now. New shit looking hellish, that's a ghost now. Diamonds on my wrist, that shit look snowed now. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown.
Link up. Listen up.
You're listening to GCOM Radio.
I can't fall in love, so I went ghost like I'm Casper. I just read a text and hit her back the morning after. Heart so cold, froze over like Alaska. My wrist on ice age, that's a natural disaster. These niggas, they be actors, tired of all the acting. Lil' shorty popped up on a nigga like acne. Now she riding on it like she sitting in the backseat. Turn nothing into something, you would think a nigga match it.
Falling out the lot, I feel at home now. Danny Phantom, make me see my own now.
New shit looking headless, that's a ghost now. Diamonds on my wrist, that shit look snowed now. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. I do it for my city, for my hometown. Link up.
I done got a shorty from the city and she bad too. On it, on it, on it, on it, on it, on it, bad too. On it, on it, on it, on it, on it, on it. If you don't know, then what about that, what you know? Yeah, reppin' for my city and my hometown. I need my bread, you gotta pay me if you owe down. And with some players, we gon' let these hoes go down. We from the old, but you know we plugged in your town. Fuck being selfish, we gon' let that money go round. No, we ain't cuffin', we gon' let these hoes go down. You send a sign and I'm gon' go when I'm in your town. Reppin' my hometown, we bout to blow now. We bout to do it, man. Found this thing from the city and she bad too. Found this little baddie from the city and she bad too. Found it from the city and she bad too.
Yeah, that was Iman Jordan with Shallow and Lege Kale with his song Ghost. His peoples was on that joint, Young Yaj and Tay Fresh. Two dope songs as always. I like going after some new material. Let's love new sounds, new artists. That's a beautiful thing. All right, so we're gonna get into the news you need to know. You know what we got to do right here, folks. Listen up, listen. I give the news you need to know because it's news you need to know. You're not gonna hear it on. I don't know how. Some people may not read a lot. You know, they don't have time. They might not see it on their major news, but it's news that it's good for you guys to know on what's going on here and what's going on around the world. So let's get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
Dozens dead near Canadian-owned mines in Burkina Faso. Over 30 people, employees in all, have died in a Canadian-owned mine in Burkina Faso. The attackers in the region is expected to be Islamist groups coming from northern Mali. Vincent Rouget, an analyst at Control Risk Group, says this is the deadliest incident targeting the mining industry or any private business in the Sahel since the 2013 In Amenas hostage crisis, unquote. This is in reference to an attack on a gas plant in the Algerian desert that killed dozens of people. Samafo, a Toronto company, saw a 17% drop in their stocks. Several other companies have taken blows as well around the Sahel area. West Africa has always been a tricky area for gold extraction, but companies continue to mine there because of government incentives and the ability to produce gold cheaply. France has deployed 4,000 troops, and the United Nations has 16,000 in certain areas. Since 2017, there have been 28 violent attacks at mines and 17 this year. All of these attacks included workers, abductions, and IED, improvised explosive devices linked to jihadists. Considering all of this, companies are steadfast, and the Burkina Faso government has asked firms for additional help. One company security official is expecting more to come. Quote, obviously it will add maybe a few dollars to the cost of producing an ounce of gold, but is not going to change the overall economics, unquote, says Joe Foster, Gold Fund Portfolio Manager at Van Eck Investment Management, which has a 10.1% stake in Samafo and a 9.8% stake in Endeavor, another Canadian firm with 2 mines in Burkina Faso. Interesting. The first smart forest city is here. In Cancun, Mexico, a new city is being designed to be a shining example of what future cities should look like. Stefano Boeri Architetti, an architecture firm in Milan, and created by Honduras-based textile conglomerate and property developer Grupo Karim, is working on a 557-hectare site that was previously a sand quarry for hotels. It will be mixed-use development that will be completely food and energy self-sufficient. It will house 130,000 residents and 7.5 million varying plants, around 400 different species, selected by botanist and landscape architect Laurie Gatti. 200,000 trees will be planted to give a ratio of 2.3 trees to every inhabitant. Solar panels will wrap around the city to provide energy, and water will feed the green fields of grass with help from a desalination tower. A transport infrastructure will be set up for electric and semi-automatic vehicles to transport residents and visitors alike. Lastly, a center will be built for advanced research, host international organizations, university departments, and companies. A city of the future right in Cancun, Mexico. Fantastic. And that is the news you need to know. Okay, we're back, folks. Let's just get into the third segment. So, how do you guys feel about the music business? How do you feel how it's going so far? Loving it? Liking it? Hating it? Yeah, it's a bittersweet relationship with me. I was reading a lot of articles, and it actually was sparked off by the Black and Blue Media Day that I did with Tyrese, Naomi, with the other media companies that were on the call. And one brother was saying that if he asked Tyrese if he could put his money on something, what would it be, movies or music? Because he did both. And Tyrese sounding, I'll play the audio right now. Check this out.
Right now, I would probably invest in movies.
You have a particular reason why would you choose that?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give it to you right now. The music business sucks right now. When it comes to streaming services, and the profits are not there as much as they used to be pertaining to survival. Most of the people I know that are singers and rappers that are just in music, and they don't act and they don't have any, they haven't been able to diversify their portfolio in real estate and other tech companies and whatever else. It's really hard to put that much time and energy into your craft. And then they say to you that until 1,100 people listen to your album, it doesn't count as one album sale. You're basically taking advantage of my time and energy and work and my gift and giving me $2 for it. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't work for free. I got love for what I do. I have passion for it. But you're not supposed to have these kind of bills and overhead to not be able to take care of business. So if I were to put my money up right now, it would definitely be in movies.
Yeah, so you can hear him frustrated with everything that's happening. And I can understand where he's coming from, but I still want to pick his brain on in what particular areas that he doesn't like, because I know there's a lot of different things that are happening with the music business that even the veterans are hating right now, because things are not what it used to be. It's not. It's different. And I don't think there's any companies or any individuals right now that's created a viable business model that works. It's getting slowly coming together, here and there, but I don't think the way music is being done right now that it grew new legs to kind of work within this new model. But let me tell you something. As much, shout out to Tyrese, much love to him. The business is not what it used to be, but it's not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere. It is continuing on. The RIAA states, and that's Recording Industry Association of America, said that they recorded that the music in the retail sector has made $9.8 billion in 2018, a 12% increase from last year. The music business is not going anywhere. And maybe he's personally getting tired of the running around for money, and money's, as what I hear, is more guaranteed in movies. But there's certain things that he feels frustrated about. And I'm doing a lot of reading, and I see that the music business has adjusted. Now, I said for a long time, because of digital downloads and where music was going, that major record companies are going to be music banks. They're going to be music banks that are just going to be reselling, repackaging music of old from as soon as sound was recorded up to now, up to each decade, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, up to now, okay? But they'll also be putting out new music, but because of technology, they don't have such an iron grip on artists right now. All right. Artists are just doing their own thing. I mean, you have SoundCloud, you have Spotify, you have all these music streaming sites that they're doing it themselves. But it's not like there's always going to be a place for record companies, because they need to be the how should I say? They need to be the structure where artists are just concentrating on music. They need to be the structure to do all the other parts of the music business. So they'll be there, but they have to literally reinvent themselves. And they have, because I did a lot of research since then. And right now, record companies are called record labels, digital, what do they call them? Digital label services. They're providing the services, because as I said, artists are like, screw you, I'll do it myself. But now they're providing that structure, that infrastructure that artists needs to get it done. And you know, there's a place for it. But now they don't have such a tight grip on artists as they used to. But I say we still have a problem with the financial part of it on artists getting paid. That still has to get worked out, because you guys already know, and we already know, music streaming is going to overtake digital downloads. And I'm hearing that digital downloads will be eliminated at some point. But I'm telling you, music, and you watch any show that I've had in the past, I'm not going to go over it again. You already know how we feel about music streaming. It's not financially viable for artists, and there's got to be another way for it to be done. I'm not saying music streaming is going to go anywhere, but there has to be another way where artists can make a living off the music they make. I think the music will have to be consumed in smaller bites. I think that's the change, and that's what's happening. Instead of it being this grandiose event that is coming together for the dropping of albums, and people are waiting 3 months in advance for albums, even though that still kind of happens, I think you're going to have to supply the people with music in smaller bites, in ways where they can stay connected to them. Now, you can still have albums or EPs or whatever you want to call it, like official drops of a list of songs. But I think there's going to be a lot of other ways for people or artists to connect with their fans, to be more intimate, to be more connected. And it's going to come through, and I think personally it's happening through Instagram, where they're sharing these pictures and them doing different things in different places that you would have never seen in the past 15 years ago. You know, artists are staying connected to their fans, but also in a lot of different, and I believe that they've also are trying to implement other things that could solidify those connections. And there's a place for it, man. There's a place for it. I think they would have to give them I think artists would have to give more unique things to their audience. In what ways? I don't know in what ways, but in ways where people can make money off their music and still have fans want more of what they have to give. You know what I mean? And I don't know in what way that can. Look, I have an idea. I'm working on certain things, and I have an idea. And I think that the way it is, I think personally it's going to get worse for artists. And there's going to be a lot of in-studio talk and in magazines, and the artists are going to, as soon as digital downloads disappear, I'm telling you, people are going to be upset. The only people that are not going to be upset are the A-listers, but more of the working class, I hate to put it like that, working class artists, but artists that are on the come up, they're entering into the business, or they don't sell as big as the other A-listers. So instead of doing, 2 million, 3 million, they're doing 100,000. They're doing 50,000. Like, there's gotta be ways where artists like that can make their money and still do what they do and go about their business and pay for their homes and their cars and all these things. I think that has to be more, the foundation has to be laid for that. And it's a very interesting time. I can't wait to see how these things play out in the future. Who is going to do it first? Who's going to take the lead on that? and really change the face. And the music business has already changed already, but really kind of push it into the next stage of its existence, to work right along with how we disseminate music to the fans. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to go down and see how much I can contribute to that as well. So that's as much as I'll say to that. So Ty, don't worry about it, bro. We're going to work it on out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. You know, you're going to be making more music anyway. You're not going to be staying away from it. We all know this. So, yeah, man. So I'm going to get out of here, man. I wasted enough of your time listening to me talk. I appreciate you listening to the show. You already know what it is. Lyfeblood.com. Be a member. Be a lifer. What's your passion? What do you want to grow? What do you want people to recognize you as? What is your identity? What gets you up in the morning and puts you to sleep at night and gets you up in the morning again? And that be the first thought on your mind. What is it that you want to do? And if that is what you are doing, how do you get it off the ground? How do you make sure that you have that foundation built to take it from idea to on the road running to making money on it every day, every month? And I think that's that network that you share. It's that network that you share with your people. And it's that dollar that you give to one another to help each other achieve their dream. Lyfeblood.com. Go check it out. Sign up. You know what it is. Talk to your people. And it's going to be the next level. You don't understand what we got planned, man. Just join in, man. Let's get to talking. Let's get to building. And it's going to be a beautiful thing once we let this flower blossom. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for listening. Check out those artists that I played on the show, and I'll see you, or I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, peace.
Check it. You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.